Hey everybody, welcome to Bestie Book Reviews. I'm here with my bestie Mandy.
And I'm here with my bestie Jessica.
In her cowgirl hat. So if you guys can't tell, today's video is all about the Cowboys.
Yes. I even have my Talk Dirty Cowboy candle going.
Love it. I love it. So speaking of Cowboys, before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button because we are giving away a copy of Elsie Silver's Flawless that is signed by Elsie, which has, the ultimate cowboy rodeo yummy. If I can find the sign page. But we are still doing our Road to 1K giveaway, and so we will be giving this away when we hit 250 subscribers. So go do that and make sure to follow us on Instagram because you will get another entry for following us. So Mandy, why don't you get us started with your first cowboy or girl, whatever you're going with, cowboy recommendation?
Okay. So my first one is a quick little novella. It's called A Cowboy in Ireland by Bootsy Dushai. And this is a girls' post-divorce trip. Becca meets Tanner at a bar, and what do you know? They're both from Texas. And I forgot to mention that obviously Cowboy in Ireland, that they are on their post-girls' divorce trip in Ireland. And so they meet at this Irish bar. It is very smutty. And it is in third person, but as I was reading it, I never really felt like it was in third person, if that makes sense. It just flowed really well. So if you're looking for a quick, smutty cowboy read, A Cowboy in Ireland is your read.
All right. That sounds hot.
Are you hot and bothered already?
Hot and bothered already. It's because we have the air conditioning off to make these videos because it's too loud. Okay. So my first recommendation is Knotted by Pam Godwin. This is the first in her Trails of Sin trilogy. If you are going to read this one, you might as well read both of them or all three of them because, oh my God, are they good? So you have Knotted is number one. And then you have Buckled and Booted. These guys, let me tell you what. Okay, so here's the deal. Here's Knotted. I'm just going to tell you Knotted, and then you just keep going on. So this is about, I already lost their names, Connor and Jack. So Connor and Jack are like, they're sweethearts. They've been together since they were really young. And when they have had all their first together, their first kiss, their whatever. And when they're 16, they decide that is going to be the first night that they sleep together. And so Jack takes her out on the farm and he goes out to this secluded area and he has this beautiful situation set up for her, just all romantic and stuff like guys really aren't anymore, but that's okay. He does it anyway. And they also kind of have some kinks. Like she wants to be tied up. Like that's her thing. She wants to be tied up. Even at 16, she knows she wants to be tied up. So he ties her up or gets started tying her up. And they're set upon by some really not good guys, some wanderers that are out there that actually tie him up and rape her. And he is forced to watch. And when that happens, there's some retaliation between him and his two best friends, which are the other two books are about. And then he is brokenhearted when Connor actually leaves the state. But they've made a certain pact. And when she's older, she comes back. So it's been more than 10 years. And she comes back. And she comes back to find that he's not the same guy. He's hardened. He's definitely got different kinks than what he was used to. And it's because of what they went through that it started, developing those kinks. And things aren't as easy when they get back. But they still love each other. So this is a second chance romance. Definitely check triggers. But it's Pam Godwin. You always check your triggers with Pam Godwin. But, love this series.
Okay. So my next book is called Almost Like You by Karen Crompton. And this is a ranch story. So he's not like a bull rider or anything like that, but he has a horse ranch. So this is about Tessa and Elliot. Tessa is fleeing an abusive relationship. So you might want to check triggers on that as well. And she applies to be a housekeeper on Elliot's ranch for the summer. And so her thought is like, I'm going to leave my abusive husband. I'm going to go there, stay there for the summer, save some money, and then move again. So she gets to the ranch and Elliot is kind of like a little mysterious, a little standoffish because he has some trauma from his past and he's really kind of hurting, but he's just very closed off and is continuously basically punishing himself, if that makes sense. So this is the two of them living and working together on the ranch. And, it's their story. They start to kind of have feelings for each other, but they're both very hurt people. So it's a story of healing as well.
I'm having a really hard time taking you seriously in that hat.
I can take it off.
It's fuzzy. Is it fuzzy?
No, it has like frayed edges.
Oh, it just looked on my end. It looks so fuzzy. I'm like, fuzzy what? It looked like it was covered in carpet.
I got it in Puerto Vallarta on my honeymoon.
Oh, whoa. That's an old hat.
Hey!
I would know. I have a kid that age. Okay. So my next book is called The Cowboys Email Order Bride. And it is by Cora Seaton.
Not mail order bride, email order bride.
Email order bride. Yeah. Okay. So this is about Ethan and Autumn. So Ethan runs a ranch, back in Montana, and Autumn, I don't know why they all take place in Montana, but that's okay. And Autumn is a reporter. She's like a journalist. She writes for a magazine. And I think she was from New York, if I remember correctly. It's been a hot minute since I read this, but she sees this ad, for a mail order bride, and she decides that this would be like the ultimate story. And so she emails this guy back and forth, and then ends up going out to Montana to marry this guy. Little does she know, Ethan's friend is the one who she's been communicating with and put the information out there. And so Ethan has no clue. And here this, city girl shows up, ready to marry him. She's there for a story, but yep. And he's actually about to lose his ranch. His mom has passed away, but come to find out his mom had a problem with shopping and spending money and raking up credit cards. And so his family's about to lose their ranch, and there's all these other things going on. And so, will the marriage stick? Will she stay? What's going to happen? Kind of a thing. But yeah, it was a really cute story. I actually really enjoyed it.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, my next book is called Never Enough by Kelly Elliott. It is the first in her Meet Me in Montana series. So this is about Brock and Lincoln. Lincoln is a girl. She moves from Georgia to Montana because she just wants to kind of have a start on her own. She has felt that her parents have really helped her out a lot, and she just wants to feel success on her own 2 feet. So she buys Brock's old house that's situated on his family's ranch, but it's been like parceled off. And she does all the dealings with his brother to purchase this house. Brock is a bull rider with guilt and a 5-year-old son, Blaze, and his wife has passed away. And the first time he meets Lincoln is at her house, which he does not like going to this house. That's why he wanted it sold. And she's talking to his son, and he does not really care for that either. So he's kind of a jerk. And then he realizes like he's a jerk to her, but he like reflects on like, it was being there. I didn't like that. And he's kind of just struggling because he's on the road all the time because he's like number one in the circuit right now. And his son is basically being raised by his parents and his brother. And he's like home when he can be, but he's starting to feel guilt about that too. He feels guilt about his wife passing away, but yet he feels drawn to Lincoln.
Okay.
So he is your ultimate cowboy. Like he's
ultimate cowboy.
Riding the broncs.
Oof. My grandpa was a bronc rider. My dad's dad. It wasn't as hot as it sounds, I'm sure. So
please don't talk about your grandpa being hot. We need to move on quickly.
I didn't say my grandpa was hot. What do you think this is? There's some country, but not that much country. Okay, so the next book is similar to the one before, but it's still just as good. It's called The Accidental Mail Order Bride. So this is about just quiet. This is about Lucy and Austin. So Lucy, again, is a city girl. And she's down on her luck. Her mom has just passed away. She just broke up with a boyfriend who I believe he was in the mafia, or he was in some kind of crime situation. She's not in a very good spot. She's got $100 left to her name. She doesn't know how she's going to pay her rent. Like, she's like in a really, really bad spot. Doesn't have a job, the whole, just really down on her luck. And she sees this ad for a mail order bride. And she's like, well, I ain't got nothing else to do, and I've got nothing to lose. So she starts corresponding. So then she ends up going out to, again, Montana, and she gets there, and come to find out, the ad was not placed by the guy. It was placed by his mother. So
there's like a theme with your books today.
I think so. This poor mama, all she wants is grandbabies and to see her sons happy. And she's got several sons. And so she just assumes that that Lucy is going to marry her oldest son, who is Bo. But the attraction, yes, there is attraction to Bo, who is surly and gruff and whatever. But then she meets Austin, and things snowball from there. So you have a meddling mother and a down on her luck heroine, and some reluctant ranchers. It was good. It was cute. I loved it. It was a quick read, a quick list. I listened to it, I think. And I remember doing it, I think it was around the holidays, and I was like, yeah, I'm here for it, as I was baking cookies. So yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
My last book is way less scandalous.
Okay.
So my next book is Texas Roses by Samantha Christie. It's the number 3 book in the Devil's Horn Ranch. And this is about Quinn and Amber. Quinn and Amber are both people who are beep it and chuck it people. They actually say that in the book. They don't do repeats. And so I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm really going to enjoy this. But there's a lot of character development as the book progresses, and I really, really enjoyed it. So Amber was adopted at birth, and she just feels kind of lost of where she's fitting in. Her mom has passed away, and her dad is in a memory care facility, and she has met her biological mom about, I think it was like 6 years ago. But their relationship just hasn't quite clicked yet. And so she is down in Texas at this ranch, the Devil Horns Ranch, for a wedding of her biological mom's family. And that's when she meets Quinn, who works on the ranch. But Quinn is also kind of struggling with where he fits in because he is estranged basically from his family. So the ranch is his, like the ranch people, the people who run the ranch and all of that, that's like his family. So they have like a wedding night fling, but they're through some events that happen. She is not able to leave the ranch like she planned. And so they end up extending their fling, which is different because they're used to no repeats. And then some pretty crazy things, like there's a big plot twist in this that forces them kind of together a little bit more. And there's really excellent character development in this story. I really, really enjoyed it a lot.
Good. It sounds yummy. Okay, so yeah, you're not going to be surprised by this one. Okay, so nobody's going to be shocked that I have a Grace McGinty book.
Oh, I'll start the timer.
Shush. I don't need it for this one. This isn't Sticks and Stones. This is 8 Seconds to Fly. Okay. Anyhow, like I said, 8 Seconds to Fly by Grace McGinty. This is a reverse harem rodeo romance. So this is about Tessa May and her dad. She grew up with her dad being he was a single father, and he raised the bulls for bull riding and for the rodeo circuit. And so she grew up around it. All she's ever wanted to do is be a bull rider. And the day that she becomes, like, she rides a bull for the very first time, she has these 2 boys that she grew up with, Branch and Bo, and they're in the rodeo circuit as well. And she rides the bull for the very first time. She dresses up like a boy and does it. And it's like the highlight of her day. And then when they're Branch and Bo are not happy with her. And then on the way home, something tragic happens, and it takes her away from the rodeo circuit for 4 years. So then she comes back, and she is going to compete in the bull riding championship, and she is going to be a part of that. And she runs back into Branch and Bo. And she also has a friend of hers who is, he's like the rodeo clown, but they don't call him that anymore. They call him, shut up. They call him bullfighters now. And so she has him, that is Frankie. and he is her right-hand guy, and he just kind of takes care of her and watches out for her. And she's also had a one-night stand with a bull rider about a year before, and he kind of shows up there as well. So his name is Dylan, and he is like the top, freshman coming in kind of situation, but the top of that crew. And so this is their story, and it's a lot about her wanting to be the first female bull rider, and she doesn't want to win. She just wants to pave the way for other girls. Love this book. I know it's reverse harem, and that's not for everybody, but it is so good. Grace McGinty just fleshes everything out. So
I think I know why it takes you longer to talk about those books.
There's more guys.
Yes.
All right, so tell me about your last book, Mandy.
Okay, my final book is Mother Bucker by Elle Thorpe, which is part of her Dirty Cowboy series. And that's where I got the Talk Dirty Cowboy candle and the earrings from when I ordered some books from her at Christmas time. So this is about Callie, who's 23. She is pregnant, but she's not telling anyone in her family because she feels like she just doesn't have her life in order, and she just doesn't really know what to do. So she's just not telling anybody about the baby yet. And she's at her sister's wedding, and she meets this guy, Abel, and they really kick it off. He's older, but she really likes him. And Abel really likes her. He knows she's younger, but he doesn't realize how much younger until he realizes that his best buddy from his rodeo days is Callie's dad. Dun, dun, dun. So he's like, yeah, this ain't happening. And she's kind of disappointed about it. And because she has the baby coming, she decides to go back with some of her family back to Australia, to where her mom's from. So she's going to going to Australia. He's been divorced for, I think, about a year, and he hasn't really found his footing yet on like what he's going to do with like this next chapter of his life. So he also decides to go to Australia to work on his friend's ranch for the summer while he kind of figures out what he's going to do. So what do you know? They're both end up on the plane to Australia together, and they had no idea each other was going. So when they get to Australia, they try really hard to fight like this chemistry pull that they have, but that doesn't work out. And so this is their story. But we also have to keep in mind she's pregnant and she has not told anybody.
Never a good thing. Eventually, people will find out. I'm just saying.
Yeah, this book made me cry a few times.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That doesn't mean anything for me. Obviously, I'm cold-hearted, but okay.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me.
All right, so our last book. This one's actually historical, but it's one of my favorites. Do not judge this book by its cover when you see the cover here in a second. So this is called The Substitute Wife. It's by Cece Cordelia. This is about Harrison and Retta. So Harrison has gone out to Colorado 4 years prior to this book starting, and he is going to make his money in the, I think it was a gold mine, silver mine. He's a silver miner. And when he left his sweetheart behind, and he was going to send for her. It was his fiance. He was going to send for her as soon as he had made his money and he had his house settled and he was ready for her to come out. So now we are 4 years later. He has sent for her. In the meantime, this fiance of his has a little sister, and that is Retta. And Retta has gotten into a situation that's really bad, and she has a little girl, a little toddler, whose name is Adeline. And Retta is dying of consumption. And so she sends, not Retta, sorry, the sister is dying of consumption. I forgot, her name is Jenny. She's dying of consumption. And so she sends Retta in her place to marry Harrison. So here's Harrison waiting at the train station for his fiance that he hasn't seen in 4 years. And he's all excited. He's been writing her, he's waiting for her to get back or to come to him. And her sister steps off the train with the baby and a note from Jenny to him saying, please marry my sister and protect her and her daughter and keep them safe. And so you have like this whole story of like, what is going on? How'd this happen? How does he move forward when he was planning on marrying this person that he loved? And now he's got to marry the sister, and like, it's a whole thing, but it was so good. I loved it. It was a great book. And you have like the original Cowboy. So definitely don't judge it by the cover though. The cover looks like she's some kind of saloon girl or something. I don't know, but that's not the case. All right. So that is all that we have for you guys today. We know that Cowboys are like the hot thing right now. So hopefully you got some great new cowboy recommendations. If you have a Western or a cowboy, especially if it's historical, because I'm looking for those, put it down in the comments below. I love me some Western historicals. But put it in the comments below.
Yes. Please do that.
And
I was going to say something snarky, but I changed my mind.
oh,
okay. Make sure to check back Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for new videos from us.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Yeehaw!
Oh my God.